Joseph Ojatum, born from Katakwi, Magoro sub-county, Kameno Parish, and Aputon village is where Ojatum is born. Joseph grew up in Katakwi, went to Magoro Primary School, and then joined Turameses, and went to Nkutu Memorial in Iganga. Then later on, I joined PTC Wanyange. Then after 2012, I went for missionary work, where I went to serve God. I did missionary work in South Africa, Zimbabwe, Zambia, and Malawi. Then 2014, I came back home, and I continued with the school. I went to the Uganda Hotel and Tourism Training Institute, where I was doing my certificate in tour guiding and driving, 2014 to 2016. 2017 to 2019, I went back for my diploma in tourism management. And COVID came 2020, which led me to do a charity work, and that was feeding people. And what made me to do this, there was a family which was living in Ginger. It was really living a hard life. Then I had to come in. I had some small savings where I decided to start buying food and to serve this family, giving them. And that's what led me to do a charity work. But then we were able to serve more than 5,000 meals to people across that time of COVID. Then later on, we also went on to implement education, where we specialized in educating a blind child is our first priority. Then also we are helping the vulnerable children, the lame, and the highest student we have is doing a diploma in pharmacy. Then we have also got the blind children here in Madera, Soroti, and we have also got some children in Ginger, Spire Road Primary School, plus other students who are doing O-level and A-level. So this is pretty what I've been doing since COVID came up to now. How did I start to get the resources? I had the saving of 800,000 with me, which I started to buy food to give to the vulnerable people. But when I ran out of money, I could not even have any other thing to add food. What I do, my tourism work, what I do when I get clients, I take for tourism. I can put some part of the money for this charity work. Then I also developed to sell honey. I sell honey where I package, then I can also distribute. Is how I also sometimes get a small money, which help me to run the activities which I'm doing. Then also farming. I also love farming. I grow groundnuts and cassava. I sell. I get money. Then I can put into charity work. The agenda was established on the 3rd of April. That's when we created this. Myself, I was watching the television, NBS, at 9. And when I was watching, I saw people running a clip of Teso, the Karamojong warriors or the raiders attacked Kapelebyong district and parts of Katakwi, where they took animals, where they injured some people and they killed some people. It touched me a lot because I grew up in the camp in Magoro. All my entire childhood was in a camp. So seeing that, I was traumatized and I felt it, whereby I decided to start calling my friends. I conferenced on the phone and I asked them, did you watch NBS today? And some of them didn't watch, and I told them what was happening. So I organized my friends and we came up with this idea, that we want to take a relief to our people. We want to help our people. The leaders were quiet. They were not responding towards the insecurity which was going on in the place. So I felt I should be a voice for the voiceless. I should come up with my team so that we can be able to tell the world what is going on in Teso if the leaders or if other people are quiet. So we organized ourselves to be the voice of Teso so that we can rescue the situation which was in Teso. So we organized ourselves. Our voice was to let the government and to let the world, we need help. We need deployment, we need the security organs to be taken to our place so that people's lives and property can be protected. You know, the elderly, these were the people that touched me a lot. The elderly people were running, the children were running, the women were running, and they were now going to live in the camp. So we felt to be the voice to help the government to realize we need help. Which kind of help we needed that time? We needed the heavy deployment of security organs to protect our people. We also needed the relief to be given to these people. We also needed health to be given to these people. That's why we organized ourselves. So we called upon the government to respond, the security to be deployed in the area, and also to be given relief, whereby we mobilize ourselves. What should we do? Let's go back home. We mobilize our young people to come together, and everyone in Teso to come together so that we can address the situation, the calamity that has happened to our place. Government, we gave the government 24 hours to respond to our request, what we're requesting. And we said without this, we were now going to use our available means as the young people of Teso to protect our people, to protect our children, to protect our elderly people, whereby we were now going to mobilize all across Teso, whereby the young people will come on board now to see that we get the security way of protecting ourselves. Then later on, the government was able to send the soldiers to affected areas in Karamojong and Katakwi, and this didn't really help a lot. We didn't really get much help. Yes, the soldiers came, people were guided and safeguarded, but then there is something that really attacked, and that was famine. People were not having food to eat. They were not having anything because they were living in the camp. So we became a voice. Let's mobilize the food, and we take to our people, whereby the young people were able to mobilize food, which is maize flour, posho, and clothes and shoes, to be taken to the people who were most affected in Karamojong district. And we're targeting to the people who are most elderly, and also the people that lost their beloved ones. Those were the families which we're targeting to help. And we are so much grateful that young people in Teso mobilized. Wasn't really enough to be given to the victims because we could not afford. There are thousands of people that need help. Even up to right now, people still need help. People need the seeds to grow. People need food to eat. People need medication. As I'm talking right now, in Katakwi on Monday, we were able to go and pick the girl, the 12-year girl, the Karamojong injured, whereby the intestine came out, and this was so sad to see a young lady in pain. But I thank Teso Emergency Agenda. The team went there and picked the girl and taken to the hospital. 2 days ago, she was operated. The surgery went on successful, and she's still on her recovery. And when we are still talking, the team is looking at the mama, the old woman from Karamojong, who was shot also, and she got broken, and she's still in the hospital up to now, for 2 months now. So the team is still going on. We are looking at all of these angles to see that our people get help. Not only those people we have helped, but also outside people we have reached to those families that lost their beloved ones. What our aim is to see people return to their homes, people get peace, people are protected within the Teso community and Uganda at large. So that's why Teso Emergency Agenda is there, to make sure that our agenda is to see we return to be a peaceful nation, and we are calling upon Teso, Karamojong to come together so that we can be able to develop our two areas. Without this, we shall always be left behind. What made me to be so much passionate and willing to do charity work? I grew up with my grandmother. She's the one who brought me up. She taught me a lot, the act of sharing with one another, not to see one person suffer a lot. So I've grown up in that way, where my grandmother taught me to share with one another. And of course, in the scriptures too, Jesus Christ taught, love your neighbor as you love yourself. So I can't love myself if I don't love my neighbor. I wanted to extend what I enjoy to my neighbor too. The way I eat, my neighbor should also eat. The way I dress, my neighbor should also dress the same thing. I felt we should be living equally in the world where I belong, where everyone belongs. We share all this. That's what makes me to do charity work, because I believe it brings happiness to me and it gives me that love of one another in the community. Teso, the community around where we live, and Uganda at large, is let us create the world of peace. Let us create the world of unity. I call upon everyone, the leaders, religious leaders, cultural leaders, political leaders, even members of the family, members of government, parliament, please let us all come together. The young people of Karamojong and Teso are coming together right now, and we are forging ways to see we return peace in our own Ataken. Karamojong and Teso, they are one people, they are together, they have grown together, everything, the language, the same culture. This is the only time we come together to see we unite and we develop our community. It is my call, it is my appeal. Let's stop the act of division. Let's stop cattle raiding. Let us stop killing one another. But let's come to the round table and we gather ideas together and we forge a way of planning and developing our two communities. Within 2 or 3 years, we shall overtake even other regions which have developed, because we have all what it takes, minerals and everything for us to develop.